And we're live. Okay. We're going back again with this. Welcome to this another live stream. Because I'm too lazy to film this and edit it. Plus, actually, no. That's not right. I'm lying already from the get go. I'm trying to improve how do I code and talk at the same time. Plus, I have this interesting project. It's a little early. The kids are asleep. The wife's asleep. So we got to find out time to do these side projects. Okay, I think they won't be up for another hour. So let's get into this back again. To reiterate what we did last week. Let's see. Oh, I already have it open. We had this application, React app. We didn't really get into the whole React thing. But I had seen a while back a demo done with SVGs. And I want to get better with working with SVG. One of the things that I want to do is create this sort of UI tool where I can modify these logos. If you go to the Dachboden session website, which is just a reroute to our mixing account, you'll see that our shows have different badges. So the colors change for each and every one. And so this is what I want to do. This was done in an Illustrator file. I am not working with an Illustrator file. Plus, I'm interested in creating a web-based tool where you can create these logos, so that even you can go in there, customize your own Dachboden logo. So I saw a demo with SVGs, and I thought, okay, this is what I need to get into. This is what I need to try to do. As you can see, this Dachboden, the old Dachboden logo, just had the D and B. We put this nice little border around it, or like the backdrop on it, and the border around it. So I needed to go and fetch out from the archives the new one. So let's start with that. I have it open here already. Oh, let's play some music while we do this. Okay. Yeah, so I found a better one here. This is the one. So let's copy it over and let's check it out what it looks like. This time I got my IDE to work. So let's see, what does this look like? There it is. Ooh, there's still a little offsetting with the, what is this called? This is, I think I need additional parameters here for the viewport. I'm not sure how to do this. Okay, I think we could work with this right now. And let's just backtrack to what we did last week. So last week, I wanted to make sure that this thing worked, right? I seeded this React program, which I thought, okay, this is the way that I want to be able to do this stuff, but the reality is that I needed to learn about how SVGs work with React. So I needed to first do the proof of concept, and so we came in here and did these things. We had decided that we were going to have 3 colors arrays. We were able to target the markup of the SVG. So that's the one thing that I took away from this demo that I saw a long time ago. SVGs is basically a regular markup, and so you can target it the same way you would target HTML elements. Then we iterated through those, and we just randomized the color every time the thing loaded. But we actually took some of the logic out here. Set the attribute of the fill color, which is what was applying the color, and we made it its own little function. So that ended up giving us this, right? Every time we load it, a new color comes out, but only from those 3 selections. So let's expand from it. We're not going to get rid of this just yet. Actually, we don't need this anymore, because now we're going to dive into the world of React. Ooh, no, we need this. I'm not sure how this works. Okay, let's just start again. We're not going to need this stuff, so we can hide some of this stuff. We'll just Okay. So we're gonna do that, and then remember we're hiding our tool or our React application. Let's show it. Kids, if you're doing this at home, don't do it like this. Okay, so now we're back over here. Let's see what we have so far. So this is the new thing. Have I not updated this new thing? Save. I think this is still with the other one. Okay. So then let's just rebuild it. You might need to do this. Actually, I should probably listen to a Dachboden mix. Ah, here we go. We got two of them? Why is that? Why do we have that too? Oh, because we still have this here. Yeah, let's get rid of this old one. Ooh, check it out. Some of these attributes is what I'm missing on this other one. So let's move to the right so we can see them both at the same time. And I just need to look at the markup. So there's the height, there's the view box. So I believe if we add the view box attribute, then we can specify where we want it to be. We want it to be 800 by 800. So let's see. Enable background, preserve white space. I think this is arbitrary for right now. Again, I'm trying to learn about SVG, so hopefully you're coming along and learning with me. Okay, here it is. There it is. But we still have that issue, right? How do we do this viewport thing? This doesn't seem right. Tell I'm already going into my own little world of silence. There's my water. Viewport and the height. I think this would be okay. Enable background. I think this would be okay for right now. We'll look into the other stuff. Okay, let's get rid of this old SVG. The index page we'll never have to touch again. I think we should be good. But we're gonna go back and refer to some of that code that we have. Just a little bit. Okay, so here's the logo. Alright, so for this, let's try to add what we did last time, but through React. So the color manipulation. One of the things that I want to do here, let's see. We need to organize this project a little bit more. This is why I'm having a hard time. Let's create the actual DB logo. So we'll create a TypeScript file. It'll be a JSX file because we'll have markup in there. And we'll call this just the Dachboden. I think I'll call it DB Dachboden Sessions. Dachboden Sessions logo. Holy cow. OBS crashed on me. I think we're pushing the limit here on this workstation. Okay, because we were interrupted. I created a new file. We're going to maybe it's the IDE. Maybe the IDE pulling more stuff. Maybe I should try to switch over to VS Code. All right, let's copy over this bad boy over here. We create. So this is our Dachboden Sessions logo component. Right now, all it's going to render out is going to be the SVG, which Okay, this is some of the issues that we're gonna have here. Let's wrap this bad boy. But we got to fix the markup. First of all, we're gonna have to import React. Just so it'll help us out here so that it knows what's going on. There's a couple of issues here. You see this this snake case or kebab? No, it's not snake case, right? It's kebab, kababi. Like when you mix these words, it actually needs to be camel case. So this needs to become that for it to be a proper proper attribute. Let's update these things. Same thing here. Yes. Oh, and we can modernize it too. We don't feed it text, but we'll feed an actual integer. So stroke, meter limit to 10. And I guess we could do the same with this for this. Those could be strings. Okay. So far, so good, I think. I feel good about this. This number is never used. Oh yeah, that's right. So DBS logo. Let's go ahead and export it. But now, of course, it's like, oh, but it's never been used. What's going on? Yeah. So I think we should be good here. Okay, a little better, a little prettier. So let's look at what we have here. We have this background element. We have, again, our B and D. And the way that the one thing that I've noticed is that instead of layering things on top of each other, you're layering it below so that it gets displayed this way. So that's why the D is at the bottom, because it's the forward element, the foreground element, or the foremost element of our composition here. So I think we got this good. Let's just get it in here. So we're not going to be using the images logo anymore because we need to manipulate it, and of course you can manipulate an image. So the DBS logo, let's bring it bad boy in here. So this still works. I can prove it to you by closing it out, and now it's gone. Okay, so far so good. Let's just keep going. We only have an hour set for this. So one of the things that okay, so what is the first thing we need to do? We need to apply some color, right? So we have the background, the B, plus the path. If you remember from the last video, I had this path separate, but this is something that I want to do. So since we're here in React with TypeScript, we're gonna do React dot, this will be a functional component, and so we'll find some props for this DB logo. So we can use, should be DB logo props. Can't call it the same thing as the component. And then we'll expand them over here. So what do we need? We need the letter D color, right? So that'll be a string. We need the letter B colors. So that'll also be a string. And then what's the other thing? The background color. And I think this is okay for right now. We'll keep it simple. What is it? DB refers to value, but the value is used in type here. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead and expand them over here. D, B, and the background, right? This is what we're going to be putting in here. So in the previous example, we were targeting groups. We don't need to do that. Although I'm going to keep the groups here because it's nice to be able to collapse this stuff, and then we can see what it is. Okay, so let's talk about the background first. The background, fill in black. That's the original idea, but in fact we're gonna be attaching the background color here, right? And then we close that. let's look at the B. So the B will have the B color, but there's this little path here. That's the rectangle, the two rectangles inside the B, so the holes inside of it, that should match the color of the background. So we're gonna call this background color 2. Right, so then that way, whatever background color we're feeding, it's showing in the background also in the little holes. And then for the path B, yeah, we want to do, oh, okay, we have a stroke. Let's go in there first. So this is B, we'll add the B color there. Maybe it's better if I do this. D color, B color, color, and then we do BG color. Let's just do it like that, right? And obviously we gotta update this bad boys too. This will be that. This becomes color, and this becomes BG color. Alright, so those are the things that we're working with. Yep, already missing over here. So we add this over here. So we have updated that. We're done with the background. Let's open up this bad boy too. I think you can see it, right? Ooh, maybe this ID text is smaller than before. Now that I'm looking at this, let's just try to see if we can do appearance. Is it the editor, the font? Let's just bump it up a little bit. Okay, that's better. A little bit better. The background's taken care of. What do we have here? Another background color. Here, on this little path over here, we have another fill that should match the background color. This should make the B color. The fill for the D element should be the D color. And now we have the strokes. So right now it's white. I'm debating whether I should match the stroke or just leave it white right now. I think we'll leave it white right now. Maybe we'll come back to it. So this will have some issues, I think, because there's no properties. Yeah, they say, hey, it's missing some properties, right? That it's expecting here. So let's go try to see if we can clean that up. I think this should be good to go. We'll come back to it if we want to address the borders. Okay, so what do we have here? We have background B color, right? We also need the D color, and then we need the background color. This is where it is. Is this right? DB. Let me just be anal about this. Okay, so far so good, but we need to get some values. So this is where we'll refer to our old code that we had here. So we remove the SVG, and this is the stuff that we have. Okay, so we have some colors. We need to have some sort of thing for colors. Let's go in here and just we'll say no. How do we do this? Like this. Okay, stand by. This is maybe where this thing crashes again. No, that's not. You might create another TypeScript file. This will be a regular TypeScript file because we're just doing this. But we're gonna put it in the library directory, and we'll just call it colors. DBS, OBS still not crashing. I think we're good. OBS is not crashed. Good. So we're gonna export. We'll create a constant here of colors. I think right now we just had red, green, and gold. Right? Some Rasta colors. So that takes care of that. We're not targeting the elements. We're definitely not iterating through these elements. Ooh, but we are using this randomization here. So let's take this with us over here. Okay. We'll just create, how are we gonna do this? How do I want to do this? we're gonna do the D color. It's gonna be colors. Ooh, but you know what? Color hasn't been imported. We gotta import this bad boy. We're importing the color library that we have in here. Okay, so D is gonna be, we can just add it here to props dot D, right? And we have to do the same for the other ones. So let's see, the B and the background. This is what we want to feed. Right, for the B, and then for the background color. Oh, we should put comments in here so that it's a properly formatted group. Ooh, what is it doing? No. Ooh, there. There is no props in here. Props. Okay, I think this is good. So let's reiterate. So far, what we've done is we've all right. We took our colors outside from our main app component here, or functional component. We created a little object that has all this stuff, just so we can visually see it better, and we're passing those functions in there. And boom. There it is. So far, so good. Do you see how I have to refresh? So I physically have to refresh for this to change. I don't really like that. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. So let's change that a little bit. For that, we're going to try to do... let's first update this. So this will be more of a ECMAScript style component. Right, and so we have this big object here. Let's just say we're going to start with using the React state management that's built into React, which is really nice. So we'll call this, I don't know, we'll call this the props, and then set props. Use React hook will give you two. You can extract these two objects from it: the props object, and then a setting function for it. And then I'll try to talk a little bit about. Rendering in React. But for the initial state, same thing, we need DB, right? D colors, let's say we'll just take the first color. For the B, we'll take also the second, and then for the background, we'll take the third color. That's all we have, right? And then this should work again because we called our object props. So now we're getting this bad boy right here. Let's see. Now it's always the same thing. But I wanted to do it automatically by itself. So we'll use something called the useState hook. So React enables us to use useEffect. And useEffect takes a function and it has a dependency array. This is why I'm doing this, because I want to get better at explaining this kind of things. The useEffect hook will not cause a re-render, but it will execute on every render. So this is our top component, right? This is the app component. If we don't feed it a dependency array, it'll just do it over and over and over again, right? But what we want to do is that we want to randomize this colors, right? So in essence, we're going to go set props. And we're going to feed it this new, well, it's not new, but it's It's the old thing that we were using. Oh, wait a minute. Already have an object in there. Okay. So now we're feeding this stuff. But let's take a look at how this behaves. So it executed once, right? Remember I told you that it'll do it automatically? If we just take it like that. Infinite loop. No bueno, senor. So let's control that. How do I set the properties without having it cost going in full crazy mode? We'll have to use an interval, right? So we'll say set, we'll define the interval interface. Interval. We'll just define a constant and name it interval, right? So this will be a set interval, which also takes a function, and then a parameter of how long it should be. So 1 millisecond. Ungefähr, as the Germans say. So here we go. Unused constant. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. See, that's why it's cool to work with an IDE. It tells you what you're doing wrong so far. But let's illustrate this. So let's talk a little bit about rendering. What happens here is now we're going to be setting the property. We're going to be updating this property, right? Once we update this property, it will cause a re-render because the state will actually have changed. And now that the state has been changed and a new re-render has been initiated, the use effect, because it's part of this component, will then trigger another re-render. So if we look at this, it'll be like this. And it starts off okay in the beginning, and I think it's best to see what's going on in the background. It's best if you can see what's going on in the background, I think. So let's just add a little console log. Effect is executed. Oh, because there's no dependencies in there? Okay, so let's add a dependency of props. Then it gets re-executed and executed and executed and executed again. Let's see, let's get the real error that we're getting out of this, which is set interval. Okay, this is good. So far it's good. How does this work? Oh, it executes once in a while. There it is. Boop, 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 boop. Right? So far so good. I think this is just as simple as that. So with zero dependencies or no dependency array, this is when it goes crazy, I think. Effect. Ooh, no, it doesn't work. Effect, effect, effect. Whoa, whoa, okay. I'm gonna keep taking this off. I want to be able to show when it's re-rendering. I don't. I'm confused now. This is working. This is good. I think so far so good. This is what we wanted to achieve, right? You know what I think we should do, just to make this thing a little bit better? Let's go to this component. Remember this things we're using the background color? I think we should just change this. Let's do this. Okay, now everything's white. This is a little bit better. I think should we affect the border? Should we? Sure, why not? Let's do it. Now we're gonna need an additional color, right? I think. Oh, by the way, we can get rid of all this old code here. And now the index file is back to its normal way. We have 4 colors, it's okay. We'll add another property here. So we'll call, what do you call this? Border? Border. It'll be a string. Border. And so let's see. The stroke and the fill of the whole, the stroke of the D and the fill. All of that should be. What do we call it again? What did we say we were going to call it again? Border, right? Border color. Okay. But we don't have it here on our props, so it doesn't have anything. And I think we should be getting an error here. It's saying, hey, it's expecting a property. Alright? It's a border. We can say white right here, and we should show the same thing. Right? We call it purple, so we can stay purple. And then it's always purple. But let's randomize it. So props will have to do a border color too. So that doesn't exist yet. Border, and now we don't have any other color. So maybe do the first one again. We're going back to reiterate to it. Ooh, look at this. So the argument type doesn't match. This is another good thing about things. What you could do is that you can say all the current props values, plus that will affect this ones by using the spread operator here. But it's okay. We actually want to randomize it, right? So wait a minute. Let's get a comment here. So our border will also get this bad dude right here. Ooh, but the colors don't really. It's not so great. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are bad. I remember Joshua Davis explaining about his process. He uses he uses processing now, and back in the day he used to use other software. But he would do this generative art, and so after doing the work, he would just sit there and hit refresh to see all the variations that would come up, and only to sit there and to identify which ones were good, because he would say sometimes the variations are bad, like this, all yellow. What happened there, right? Okay. I feel like we need to expand our. I feel like we need to expand our thing over here. The colors. That's what I want to say. So let me try saying that again, because this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn how to code and talk at the same time. We need to expand our colors base here. So let's go into our colors library over here, and let's see if we can just find like HTML color list, HTML color names. Let's see, what do we have here? Ooh. Yeah, those are all the colors that I want to use, but I need to find them in a list form. Color names. Yowzers. Maybe if I do color list array, because we need color names in the array. All color. Yeah. See, I think this is where I was looking at. Boom. We can use this right here. We'll take this little array. Holy cow. 57 lines of code, 156, and what page are we starting? To 9. Okay. Let's see. It's pretty funny, this bad boy. Wow. From 2 to 49, so it makes it 48. 148. 148 colors. That's a lot of colors. So we're not going to put here 148 colors, right? What we should be doing is we should be doing colors.length. So we just say whatever the length of that array is going to be, just give me a random number from there. But this is redundant art, but we'll fix that. Let's see, boom. This is our new generative Dachboden logo application in React. I think my time's almost up. I know that this is a 2-part video because of the stream or the OBS breaking down. Yeah, I think we'll call it a day here. Let's commit this code. This is a little redundant. Maybe I could, maybe resist the urge. Yeah, I think this is okay. Let's go ahead and clean the project. This is what we'll do. We'll do the last things. So we took this knowledge that I had about the SVG. I proofed it on the regular HTML with vanilla JavaScript. So we proofed that. Give me a second here. Okay, we proofed that it worked, or started that I understood what the guy was mentioning. Now we brought it into here. We did update the asset. So this asset is just sitting there. It's not really being used by anything, but it's good to have this backup and to look at it as an SVG file. We're gonna fix this thing next. So let's clean up the project. We'll commit it to GitHub. We'll create some issues so we know what to do next time, and then we'll call it a day, okay? Let's see. All right, so everything looks good here so far. There is no class name here. There is no parent div there, so we should be able to just do this. Whoopala. I think this will work. Yeah, because it's the only thing it's got going on there. Alright, the interval. I'm real confused as to why this is working. I need to do something before we do this. So I'm gonna define a constant interval, right? And this is what it's gonna be. The React hook has a cleanup function, so I can say, where is this nut? This is the end of set props. This is the end of the set interval function and the thing here. Yeah, okay. So if we add the return statement inside the use effect, it's sort of a cleanup function. And so what we could do in here is that we can just say clear interval, and then we'll set interval. This should create the same thing here, but I think it's not regenerating the set interval thing over and over again. I'm not sure how that works, and the use effect is quite tricky sometimes. So you have to really think about this stuff. Programming has a lot to do with solving problem solving and being able to like articulate this kind of stuff. So this is why it's important to try to understand what's really happening so that you can control it. So I don't know why it was working without the clear interval function, but I'm putting it in there only because I know better from having worked with more complex use effects things. So I'm putting it in there because I know that's best practice. But maybe I'll find out why, so I can better articulate it. Okay, so I created this components directory in here earlier, so we'll put the app component in there. And I don't really like this name convention that they use here. Whoopala. Whoopala. What we want to do is we want to rename. So everything, refactor. It should just be the app component. Okay. So we're not doing tests. We're not going to do the test. There's some CSS in here. I think this is okay. It's boilerplate stuff. But I want to move it into a style directory. So OBS is still working. Okay, it hasn't crashed yet. Put it in there. It'll refactor. Ooh, failed to compile. Why? Okay. It's in there. It's in there. This is the React logo that comes in from the board. And we're back again because OBS crashed. That's what you get for working with Ubuntu. What's this? Gray red. This is just definition work step. Okay, I think this is okay for right now. We have this. Okay, I think this is okay. We move our DB logo SVG into the assets directory. We have components directories to separate that. We have a library file for colors, and the index boilerplate style sheets will be moved into its own directory. It's just a little bit cleaner. This is where it could also get tricky. You know what? Okay, I'm a little worried. Let's get out of the IDE. I don't think we need this anymore. Cancel. Okay. OBS, a PHP Storm are probably big programs, so they should not be running at the same time. So let's close this bad boy here. Yeah. We'll go github.com/coglo, and I think DB logo is the name of the project. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is the commit from last week. Let's wrap this up. I'm running out of time here, and OBS already crashed. Come on. GitHub DB logo. This is what it is. If we look at the status, we have a whole bunch of other stuff that's been added, stuff that's been modified. So let's say git add. I don't want to specify all the other stuff, so we're just gonna generically add everything. Yeah, git status, everything is now committed. So let's, but we'll add a message. Is this big enough? Let's see. Oh, I don't like it when it's down here. Let's see. Okay, git status. This is what we have. Okay, git commit. I'll sign off on it. I'll sign off on it. I'll add a message of like, what do we say? Updated SVG file and started using the use effect hook for what do we say? For automatically uploading it, not uploading it, updating the colors, for randomizing the colors, the colors. That's a really long commit statement. That's fine. Git push, I think this should work. Let me add my thing. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's good. Now we should be able to see this bad boy over here. Yeah, it's too big. Okay. So yeah, we removed all that. Let's see. Hold on, I want to see the commit. Let's see what git. So we removed all of the old stuff that was in the index file, yeah, because that's what we were trying. We got rid of the app test from the boilerplate. We moved. It says it got deleted, but it basically got moved, right? Oh, it got deleted because the name changed also. So app became app with a little a. We updated the SVG logo. This is stuff that I need to look. So this is from Illustrator that came out. We have a viewport. We did add the viewport attribute here, but it's still displaying a little funky. I need to figure out why that's happening. Okay, so here's our app component that we did. We updated the, well, I guess this is a whole new file because we renamed it. So we're using the use state to be able to manage all of these colors. We're using the effect to randomize the colors, and then we're passing it on to a functional component of a DB logo. This is our DB logo component, right? So it takes some props. We define it with an interface because we're using TypeScript, and then we're passing it on to those actual markup, SVG markup elements, which I think it's super cool. And if you don't know anything, like I didn't know anything about SVG 2-3 years ago, other than it existed, it might seem a little daunting. But now with this, it feels like we can try to do some cool animations with SVGs and whatnot. But that's for a later thing. Yeah, we updated the paths on some of this stuff, and then we added a whole bunch of other colors to our color library, and then the SVG logo got deleted. That was the original. That was the original boilerplate logo. Okay, so that's that. There's a pull request. Why is there a pull request? This is, yeah. Dependencies. Oh, this is from the seeding stuff. I'll deal with this offline. This is not what we need to do. What I do want to say is I want to have some issues. So let's say we'll create a new issue. And then we have the issue with the SVG, right? SVG viewport. We'll be indicative. We'll say fix this, right? Fix the SVG. Currently, so we'll describe the issue that we have right now, and then we'll propose an issue. So currently, the SVG, the logo displays in the top left corner of the SVG, and we should have it display in full, right? We'll say our target size will be 800 pixels by 800 pixels, right? We want a nice little square. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Ooh, I think the family's waking up. So we'll submit this issue, and then we'll add another issue, and the new issue will be, we want to build a UI for this, right? So build a UI for color manipulation, right? And we can say current, the color is being randomized. We want to preserve that. We want to preserve that, but we also need an alternative UI to be used for fixed color declaration. And that's what we're going to do. We'll submit anything. Okay, so we have two issues. This is what we'll try to cover one of those on the other project, and then the other issue is we're gonna have to deploy this. So deploy into GitHub pages, right? And I want to Google this first. Google it first because it's gonna be hard to. I don't do this thing so often, so my experience with the GitHub pages stuff. But then that way you guys would be able to see it. Because right now, all you do is see the color. There's no build, there's no nothing in there. And this is still boilerplate from all this stuff. I think that's okay for right now. Let's just call it a day. Thank you for tuning in. Look at this. Look at all these funky colors. Stay purple, my friends. Stay purple. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. Always look for the opportunity to work on your small projects, because we all have the same 24 hours a day. It's up to you how you decide to use them. So